Oh my God. You're like listening to G'day World with Cameron Riley on the podcast network. Whatever.
G'day World. You're listening to Cameron Riley on the podcast network, Australia's largest independent media company as far as I know. And if you want it to stay independent, you know what you need to do. You need to become a subscriber. You've never heard me say that before, but I'm launching it right now. You need to give us some money. I've decided we're going to go to member-based support, like NPR in the US or PBS here or whatever. We're going to be listener funded, I think, particularly in this global financial meltdown that the American capitalists have gifted to us. Their gift of love is a new Great Depression. Anyway, enough of that. My guest today on the show is a girl who has gone through the Mercy Ministries program in Australia. If you've been listening to this show over the last 6 months, you will have heard a girl who went through Mercy Ministries in the USA has been on the show, and today I've got an Australian girl who is going by the pseudonym Sarah Mack. Welcome to G'day World, Sarah Mack.
Thank you.
Now, for people, let's just assume that we've got people listening to this for the first time who are unaware of Mercy Ministries. Why don't you give me the 30-second, you can pick it up and correct me where I'm wrong. So my understanding of Mercy Ministries is they're an American-founded organisation that basically provide a form of counselling to girls who are troubled, that they may be pregnant, they may have drug addictions. I don't know what other sorts of situations, but for troubled girls, young girls, particularly young women. And they're Christian. They're run by was founded by this woman called Nancy, who is Nancy Alcorn. Who is a very, very scary fundamentalist lady I've seen snippets of on YouTube. And in Australia, it has a very close relationship with both Gloria Jean's Coffee and the Happy Clapper Church that Gloria Jean's is very closely associated with. And we've done a number of shows on G'day World over the last couple of years, and there's been quite a bit in the mainstream media about the relationship between this church, Gloria Jean's Coffee, and Mercy Ministries, particularly over the last year or so, when there's been a number of stories of girls that have been through Mercy Ministries that have come out and talked about the psychological and emotional and in some cases physical abuse that they were exposed to while they were going through the Mercy Ministries program. So much so that a couple of months ago, the founder of Mercy Ministries, Nancy Alcorn, came to Australia to meet with some of the girls, and I believe you were at that meeting.
Yes, I was one of them.
Okay, so there you go. Was my description relatively accurate?
That was good.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
So, and people who have been to a Gloria Jean's coffee shop somewhere in Australia will probably have seen them trying to raise money for Mercy Ministries over the years. They have these little donation boxes, and in fact, a couple of months ago, I had a couple who are an ex-Gloria Jean's, they're ex-Gloria Jean's franchisees that were on the show, and they were talking about how much pressure is put on franchisees by the Gloria Jean's organisation to really ramp up those contributions to Mercy Ministries. And the marketing manager for for Gloria Jean's was on my blog in the comments section 6 months or so ago, saying that they were evaluating their relationship with Mercy Ministries. But I was telling you before we went to air that I accidentally bought a coffee from a Gloria Jean's in Brisbane today. I was desperate for a coffee, running between meetings. There's this little hole in the wall, and I jumped in to get a latte, and I'd already given them my money, and they were making the coffee when I suddenly saw the Mercy Ministries box and went, what? And then looked around and paid attention and saw a Gloria Jean sign and was just horrified that I'd given these people my money but I didn't want to upset the poor 18-year-old kids standing behind it by demanding a refund and causing a scene. So, okay, let's talk a bit about your story, if we can first. When did you get involved with Mercy Ministries? How long ago?
Okay, so in 2004 was when I first applied to Ministries Ministries. I had been, in the June of that year, I had been diagnosed with bipolar. I had been very, very sick with that. I had been in and out of hospital constantly for about 6 months, and I felt like there needed to be something more, that there needed to be a more intense program or something that was full-time, that I had someone caring for me and offering me support full-time. So I applied to them, and then in the December of 2004, I was accepted into the program, and then actually went into the house in April 2005.
And how old were you at the time?
I was 21.
Okay, 21. Were you of Christian persuasion at the time?
I was. I've been brought up as Christian my whole life. So basically the reason I was seeking Mercy Ministries' help was because they were a Christian program.
That was a selling point for you?
Very much so, because I believed that was one of the really big keys to me getting better, was the Christian side of things.
Are you still a believer today?
I am now, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so you got involved, and when you were diagnosed with bipolar,
yep.
Was this through a proper clinical diagnosis?
Yep. I was actually admitted out to a psychiatric hospital, and was there for a couple of weeks, and they made their diagnoses and put me on medication and that kind of thing then. Okay.
And so you were on medication when you went into Mercy?
Yep, I was on a lot of different medications, from antidepressants to sleeping tablets.
And how long had you been on the medication when you went in?
Ever since June of the before. So roughly 9-10 months or so.
And it kind of, I gather it wasn't working out for you. You decided you needed some additional assistance? Yeah.
It definitely. I mean, it's very hard to find very good psychiatric care, especially in a full-time environment where you're going into a live-in program and that kind of thing, especially if you're a Christian and that's exactly what you're looking for out of a program.
You're aware that tomorrow, October 10th, we're recording this October 9th, by the way, folks. October 10th is World Mental Health Day.
Actually, I did.
There you go.
Because my case manager rang me this afternoon and said, "So we're having a morning tea tomorrow, so you're definitely going to be there, aren't you?"
It's also my birthday tomorrow, and
happy birthday!
As somebody who's been through therapy, in part because of depression and being bipolar, I think it's a terrible conspiracy that they're actually running this on my birthday. I'm sure that they're trying to tell me something just because.
Get a subliminal message through or something.
Just because I'm not paranoid doesn't mean that people aren't really out to get me. Is the way I look at it.
Very true.
So, okay. So you were 21. You've been diagnosed through a clinical process as being bipolar. You were depressed. You were on medication.
Yep.
You were a Christian. Were you part of Hillsong?
No, I wasn't. I was part of a Pentecostal church, but it was not Hillsong.
Okay.
But I've never been a member of Hillsong.
Okay, but you had an affinity. You were looking for some Christian-based support or therapy, and you went into Mercy Ministries, right?
Yep.
So tell me about the experience when you went in, like your first day. What was the initiation like?
Okay. Well, okay. I was in the Sunshine Coast home. So coming from Sydney, I had to catch a train all the way up to Brisbane, which was an overnight experience, which is one I will never, ever repeat again.
And this is the one that's been shut down since, right?
Yes. The Sunshine Coast home is the one that's been shut down.
Right, okay.
And so I travelled all night. I actually didn't get any sleep that night because I find it very difficult to sleep in kind of a moving vehicle, a car, a bus, a train, anything. So I got picked up from Brisbane from a train station